The silver ship slowly landed on the glowing white platform of Geron Prime, the capital of the Jirani Empire. Its smooth surface reflected the twin suns above, and guards in shining armor lined both sides of the landing bay. Today was important. After 10 years of war, a human warrior had come for peace. Cole stepped off the ship. He was tall, strong, and quiet. His uniform was simple but clean, with a patch on his shoulder showing Earth's flag. He had no weapons, only a calm face and steady eyes. The Jirani guards looked at him with curiosity and doubt. Humans were still new to them. Dangerous, yes, but fascinating too. Princess Alira stood behind the welcoming group, half hidden in the shadows of a tall crystal pillar. Her long silken robes fluttered slightly in the wind, and her violet eyes watched the human carefully. She had expected a leader, maybe a wise old general or a clever diplomat. But this man was different. He looked young, quiet, and yet something about him made her heart beat faster. As Cole stepped forward, bowing politely, the royal priest suddenly gasped. His eyes were locked on Cole's neck, just above the collarbone, where a strange mark glowed faintly under the skin. The mark was shaped like two wings wrapped around a small flame. Alira froze. That symbol ... It was the sacred crest of her bloodline. The mark was rare even among her own people, and only one person in the universe could ever carry that symbol. Naturally, her destined husband. It was written in the old scrolls, passed down for generations. The Princess of Geron would be joined to a warrior from beyond the stars. When she found him, his body would carry the mark, and their souls would know each other instantly, but she didn't feel anything. No sudden voice in her head, no magical light or sign, just shock, confusion. And a strange warmth in her chest. The ceremony continued. The Jirani leaders welcomed Cole with speeches and gifts. A feast was announced, but Alira remained quiet. Her eyes followed Cole wherever he went. Later that night, in the quiet of her private chambers, she spoke with the royal seer. "You saw the mark," Alira whispered. "Didn't you?" The old seer nodded slowly. "Yes, my princess. It is. The true mark, the one spoken of in the prophecy of union." "But he's human," she said, her voice trembling. "He doesn't even know us. How can this be?" "Prophecy does not ask for our permission," the seer said gently. "It only shows what must come to pass. You must confirm it." "Confirm it? There is a way," he nodded. "A ritual. The bonding trial. If he is truly your fated one, the bond will awaken. If not, the mark will fade and all will return to normal." Alira stood by the window, looking at the stars. She was a princess trained for duty, power, and politics, but love, destiny? This wasn't what she had prepared for. Cole, meanwhile, was walking through the palace gardens, guided by a soft drone. He enjoyed the silence. Earth cities were noisy. This place, with its glowing plants and peaceful fountains, felt almost magical. Still, he sensed something was off. Everyone had treated him with respect, but also distance. Like they were waiting for something, judging him. And he had noticed how the princess kept looking at him during the ceremony. Suddenly, the drone stopped and turned. "Princess Alira requests your presence." He followed the drone to a quiet hall lit with soft blue lights. The princess stood near a table covered with scrolls, maps, and ancient symbols. "Thank you for coming," she said. Cole nodded. "Of course." She studied him for a moment. "May I ask? Do you know of any unusual markings on your body?" He blinked. "That's a strange question. Please," she said softly. "This is important." Cole shrugged and pulled down the collar of his shirt slightly. The faint glow of the winged flame was visible. "I noticed it years ago," he said. "Doctors on Earth thought it was a birthmark or scar tissue. It never hurt, never changed." Alira stepped closer, her heart pounding. "It's not a scar," she whispered. "It's a mark of fate. In our culture, only one being can carry that symbol naturally, the soul-bound mate of a Jirani royal." He laughed nervously. "Are you saying I'm married to you?" "No," she said quickly. "Not yet." "Not unless the ritual confirms it." Cole stepped back. "I didn't come here for marriage. I came for peace." "I know," she said. "And I'm not forcing you. but if this is true, it changes everything. They stood in silence. The stars above glimmered through the open skylight. "I'll do the ritual," he said at last. "If it helps keep peace and gives you answers, I'm willing." Alira nodded, her voice quiet. "Then tomorrow we begin." But inside she was no longer calm, because a tiny part of her, a part she never trained, never studied, had already begun to hope. The next morning the palace was quiet. The usual sounds of guards training, drones humming, and servants working were missing. Something was different. Cole stood in front of a large golden door inside the royal temple. He wore a simple white robe given by the palace. The mark on his neck, the winged flame, was glowing a little brighter today. He didn't know why, but somehow he wasn't afraid. Princess Alira arrived wearing ceremonial robes made of silver thread. Her hair was braided in the style of ancient Jirani queens. Her face was calm, but inside her heart raced. "This is the Hall of Binding," she said softly. "Only those chosen by the old ways can enter." Cole looked at her. "And if I fail?" "The mark will fade," she said. "And everything will return to normal." He nodded once. "Let's do it." The temple doors opened with a deep sound and they stepped into a round chamber. In the center was a glowing pool, surrounded by floating crystals. Strange symbols moved across the walls like flowing light. An old priest stood waiting. He spoke the ancient words, blessing the bond test. "Step into the pool," he said. Cole and Alira stepped into the shallow water together. It was warm almost. Alive. The crystals began to glow brighter. A soft humming filled the room. Suddenly, visions flashed through Cole's mind. He saw a desert world, standing beside a woman with violet eyes, then a battlefield, holding her hand while ships fell from the sky. A final vision showed a quiet garden under one sun, where they both promised something, words he couldn't understand, but felt deep inside. Alira saw the same visions. Her breath caught in her throat. The feelings were too real to ignore. She knew him, not his face but his soul. It was like meeting someone again after many lifetimes. When the vision stopped, the glowing pool turned gold. The old priest bowed deeply. "The bond is real." Alira stood still, her hands shaking. This wasn't just a story from her childhood anymore. It was truth. Fate had brought them together, and now the Empire would know. Cole stepped out of the pool, his expression thoughtful. "So we're connected? Soulmates?" She nodded slowly. "That's what our people believe." He gave a small smile. "And what do you believe?" She looked into his eyes. "I don't know yet, but I'm willing to find out." News spread fast. Within hours, the entire palace knew. The human warrior was the fated mate of Princess Alira. Some were shocked. Others angry. In the war council chamber, several noble leaders argued. "This is dangerous," said Lord Vask. "The human is not one of us. This bond will weaken our bloodline." "It's not a matter of blood," said Lady Rowe. "The prophecy has come true. We cannot ignore it. The alliance with the Vern Empire will collapse." Another warned. "Alira was promised to Lord Karen." "But the human saved her from that path," said the royal seer. "This is fate." The Empress herself listened quietly. She was Alira's mother, a wise woman with eyes like stone. Finally she spoke. "Bring the human to me." Cole entered the Empress's chamber with respect. The room was filled with symbols, scrolls, and relics from centuries past. She looked at him. "You do not kneel?" "I don't come as a servant," Cole said, "but I come with peace." "You bonded with my daughter," she said. "I didn't plan it," he replied, "but I didn't reject it either." The Empress stood and walked closer. "Do you understand what this means? You are now tied to our future. Some will hate you, some will fear you, but all will watch you." "I understand," Cole said simply. "I didn't come for power or fame. I just want to do what's right." The Empress studied him. Then she gave a small nod. "You may stay." That night, Alira walked with Cole in the palace garden. The glowing plants swayed gently in the wind. The stars above shimmered like tiny eyes watching from afar. "I didn't expect this," she said softly. "I always thought my life would be full of rules, duties, arranged meetings. Sounds a lot like Earth, Cole said, smiling. She laughed for the first time. A soft, real laugh. I don't know where this leads, she said. But I want, to know more about you, about your world, your people. And I want to know more about you, he replied. Because somehow, I feel like I've known you before. They stood silently for a moment. The wind carried the soft scent of starflowers. In the distance, the towers of Jaren glowed softly under the moonlight dot, but in the shadows beyond the walls. Not everyone was pleased. A figure whispered into a communicator hidden under his cloak. The bond has been confirmed. Begin the plan. We cannot allow a human to sit beside the throne. The next morning, the palace was busy again. At this time, everything felt different. Guards moved faster. Servants whispered. Council members held secret meetings. The news of the bond had changed everything. Cole walked through the royal halls, wearing a deep blue ceremonial robe. His human uniform was stored away for now. He felt the weight of many eyes on him. Some curious, some respectful, others not so kind. He had been trained for battle, not politics. And now he was part of a royal prophecy. In the Temple of Stars, preparations were being made for the second part of the bonding, the ritual of joining. It was a traditional ceremony, not just spiritual, but also symbolic. It was done to show the public that the two souls had accepted each other willingly. Alira sat quietly before the mirror in her private room. Her hair was tied with golden threads, and her robe shimmered like the night sky. Her hands rested on her lap, but her mind was restless. She wasn't afraid of Cole. She wasn't even unsure of the prophecy anymore, but she feared what their union would cause. War could return. Alliances could break. Many in the court would never accept a human sitting beside her on the throne. There was a knock at her door. It's time. Princess, said her assistant. The ceremony took place in the Grand Chamber of Unity, the circular hall was built with stone from every world that had ever allied with the Jirani. It was a place of peace, truth, and ancient vows. Hundreds gathered, elders, nobles, priests, soldiers, even ambassadors from other species. All came to witness what some called fate and others called foolishness. Cole stood on one side of the chamber. Alira stood on the other. Between them was a small fire, the flame of oaths. The high priest raised both hands and spoke. Today, we witness the joining of two lives. A warrior from Earth and a princess of Jaren. Their bond is written in stars and sealed in spirit. Will they take the oath freely? I will, said Alira clearly. I will, Cole answered, his voice steady. The priest turned to Cole first. Repeat after me. I offer my truth, my honor, and my name. I walk beside her, not in front, not behind. Cole repeated the words. His voice echoed through the hall. Then Alira spoke the same oath. They both reached out and placed their hands above the flame. The mark on Cole's neck glowed again, brighter than before. Alira's eyes widened. A soft golden light surrounded both of them. The priest nodded. It is done. After the ceremony, a quiet feast was arranged. But tension remained in the air. While some nobles clapped politely, others whispered behind closed fans. The Vern ambassador had left the chamber without saying a word. It was clear he was not happy. Princess Alira leaned toward Cole as they sat at the long dining table. You did well? I'm used to battlefields, Cole said. Not feasts filled with people who want to see me fail, Alira smiled softly. That's half our court. He gave a small grin. Only half? Before she could answer, a messenger hurried to the table. He bowed low and whispered in her ear. Alira's smile faded. What is it? Cole asked. My mother, the Empress, wants to see us. Immediately. In the Empress's chamber, the air was heavy. I have received threats, she said without waiting for greetings. Several noble houses are angry. They say your union is a mistake. They say our traditions have been broken. They fear change, Alira said calmly. They fear war, the Empress corrected her. The Vern Empire may cancel the alliance. You were promised to their lord. I never agreed to that union, Alira replied. Cole stood quietly, listening. The Empress turned to him. Do you understand the danger? This isn't just about you and my daughter. This is about empires. About keeping peace. I understand, Cole said, but I didn't choose this bond. Neither did she, it chose us. Wise words, the Empress said slowly, but words alone won't stop blood from spilling. Later that night, Cole stood on the balcony of his guest quarters staring at the sky. The stars looked the same as Earth's, but everything else was different. He heard soft footsteps behind him. Alira joined him, her robe fluttering in the night breeze. Are you thinking of leaving? He looked at her. Should I? She didn't answer right away. Then she said, if you left, things might calm down, but they might also get worse. I don't run from challenges, he said, but I don't want to be the reason your people suffer. You're not the reason, she said. You're the sign, the test. Cole turned to her. What do you want, Alira? Not as a princess, as you. She looked into his eyes. I want the truth, and the truth is, I don't want you to leave. Cole nodded. Then I'll stay, and I'll fight for this, for us, she smiled. A small, brave smile, but outside the palace, in the dark corners of the city, the plot had already begun. A hooded figure spoke into a communicator. Phase 1 complete. The ritual is done. The people believe it, but it's not over. Another voice replied, cold and calm. The human must fall. If the bond is broken, the prophecy dies. They will not see what's coming, said the hooded figure, and the stars above Jaren shone, unaware of what was about to unfold. The palace looked peaceful on the outside, but inside, a storm was building. Doffed after the joining ceremony, Cole had become a symbol, one of hope for some, and of danger for others. Not everyone believed in destiny. Not everyone trusted a human. Bonded to their future queen. Deep in the palace, in a hidden room behind the library, a group of cloaked nobles met in silence. He must be removed, whispered Lord Vask. The bond was a mistake. Alira belongs with our people, not with an outsider. But the flame accepted him, said another. The prophecy was fulfilled. Lord Vask's voice was cold. Then we must make the people forget the prophecy. The plan was clear. If the human warrior was no longer alive, the bond would break. Without him, the royal bloodline would return to tradition. Peace with the Vern could still be saved. The assassin was already chosen. That evening, Cole walked through the training grounds. It had become his place to think. His thoughts were full of Alira, the strange glowing mark, and the ceremony. Everything had changed so fast. He picked up a wooden practice staff and began swinging it, letting the rhythm of the moves clear his mind. His body remembered each step, trained from years of battle. Then he sensed something. A shadow moved behind the statue of the sun god. He turned just in time to block a dagger strike with the staff. Sparks flew as metal met wood. The attacker wore black armor, his face hidden. Fast and skilled, but Cole was faster. They fought across the courtyard, staff against blades, feet sliding on the stone tiles. Cole moved with power and precision. The assassin was quick but not prepared for a human who had fought real wars. With one strong strike, Cole broke the assassin's weapon and sent him crashing to the ground. Guards rushed in too late. The attacker bit down on something poison. He collapsed and died before anyone could question him. The news spread quickly. Alira ran into the chamber where Cole was being treated for a light cut on his arm. She looked worried. Are you all right? She asked. He nodded. Just a scratch. Someone sent a killer into the royal palace, she said, angry now. This isn't just fear. This is a planned attack. I can handle threats, Cole said. But what about your people? They don't all want peace, Alira said. Some want the past to stay unchanged. Then we show them the future, Cole said firmly. Together. The Empress ordered an investigation. The guards searched every hall, every guest room, every secret tunnel. They found traces of communication between the assassin and an unknown noble. But the message was erased before it could be read. Still, the Empress was not blind. She knew her court. She called Alira into her private garden, a place where they often walked when she was a child. You love him, the Empress said calmly. Alira looked down. I don't know if it's love, but I trust him and I believe in the bond. Then you must protect him, her mother said. Not just with guards, with power. Give him a role that no one can question. What do you mean? Make him part of your rule, the Empress said. Choose him as your official consort. Once declared, no one can challenge it without dishonoring the throne. Alira paused. But the council will bow, the Empress said, or they will be removed. That night, under the light of the twin moons, Alira met Cole on the palace tower. It was the highest point in the city, and from there, they could see the stars above and the lands below. She spoke gently. Cole, my people are divided. Many support us, some do not. But we need to show unity. I understand, he said. Whatever you need, I'll stand with you. She took a deep breath. I want to make it official. I want you named as my consort. It's more than just a title, it gives you a voice in the court and protection under the law. Cole looked into her eyes. Do you trust me that much? I do, he smiled. Then yes. Let's show them we're stronger together. The next day, a royal declaration was made. In front of the council. Nobles, priests, and the people of Jaren, Alira stood with Cole beside her and announced, This human warrior, Cole of Earth, is not only the one chosen by fate, but by my heart and judgment. I declare him my consort, protector of the royal house, and partner in peace. Some clapped. Some stayed silent. A few stormed out in anger, but none could stop it. The royal seal was stamped. The bond was official not just in spirit, but in law. In the crowd, Lord Vask watched silently. He turned to a messenger and whispered, We tried softly. Now we move to the next step. What is the next step? The messenger asked. We don't just attack the man, Vask said with a cruel smile. We attack the soul. And far away, in a secret lab under the palace, a new weapon was being prepared. Something that didn't harm the body, but shattered the bond between two souls. The palace grew colder. It was not the chill of the night, but the weight of unseen threats. Cole woke with a start. His mind felt heavy, like a dark fog pressing inside his thoughts. His mark, the glowing winged flame, dimmed for the first time. Since the ritual, he sat up and looked around the quiet room. Outside, the city lights flickered softly. A soft knock came from the door. Alira stepped inside, her face pale but determined. Cole, she said quietly. Something is wrong. The bond, it feels weaker. He nodded. I felt it too, like someone is trying to break us apart. She moved closer, sitting beside him. I spoke with the seers. They say an ancient weapon was made long ago to shatter soul bonds. By who? The traitors inside the palace? They want to undo the prophecy. Cole clenched his fists. We need to leave, find safety. Alira shook her head. If we stay, they will find us. But if we run, we must go to the old shrine in the mountains, the place where the prophecy began. Maybe the power there can protect us. Without hesitation, Cole stood. Then we go. That night, under the cover of darkness, Alira and Cole slipped away from the palace with only 2 trusted guards. The city was still, but danger lurked. As they moved through secret tunnels beneath the palace. Cole whispered, How did they learn about the weapon? Alira looked worried. There is a spy among us. Someone close. The guards exchanged glances. Trust was thin. They reached the outer wall and climbed into the cold night air. The stars above guided their way as they mounted sleek skyriders hovering. Bikes that glided over the city lights. Cole took the lead, feeling the wind against his face. For a moment the fear faded, but the journey was only beginning. The mountain range was vast and ancient. The peaks pierced the clouds. Wrapped in mist and mystery, the shrine stood on the highest cliff, a simple stone circle surrounded by carved pillars. It was said to be the place where the first bond was made, where 2 souls became one under the watch of the stars. Alira and Cole entered the shrine, feeling a strange calm. The air shimmered with power. Suddenly, Cole's glowing mark flickered again, this time stronger. The ancient stones pulsed in response. Alira took his hand. This place, it feels like home. Cole looked at her, eyes full of hope. But their moment of peace was short-lived. Without warning, a dark figure appeared at the shrine entrance, a cloaked woman with sharp eyes and a cruel smile. You cannot hide here, she said. Cole raised his hand, ready to fight. Alira stepped forward. Who are you? The woman laughed. I am Lyra, loyal to those who seek to undo your bond. She raised a small device, a glowing orb that hummed with strange energy. This weapon breaks soul ties. Your bond will shatter, and your prophecy will end. Illyra's grip tightened on Cole's hand. Then we fight. Cole said. Lyra activated the device. A wave of energy washed over Cole and Illyra. Cole felt a sharp pain in his mind, like his memories were being pulled away. The glowing mark on his neck faded to a dull gray. Illyra gasped, struggling to hold on to the bond. But Cole closed his eyes and focused. He remembered the visions, the desert, the battles, the garden. He remembered the feeling of connection with Illyra. Stronger than fear, stronger than pain. Opening his eyes, he reached out and touched her cheek. The mark on his neck flared bright again. Stronger than before, Illyra smiled through tears. We are stronger. Lyra's device crackled and died, defeated. She fled into the shadows. Cole and Illyra stood in the shrine, breathing heavily. This bond, Illyra whispered. It's more than just fate. It's choice, Cole nodded. We choose each other. The ancient power of the shrine seemed to approve. Glowing warmly around them, they knew the fight was far from over, but together they were ready. The journey back to the palace was quiet but tense. Cole and Illyra rode the skybikes through the cold mountain air, the ancient shrine's power still glowing softly in their minds. They both knew what awaited them. A court divided, uncertain, and watching closely. When they landed at the palace gates, the guards saluted with respect. News of their survival and the defeat of Lyra had spread quickly. Inside the throne room, the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Nobles and council members gathered, whispering and exchanging glances. Some faces showed surprise, others suspicion. The Empress sat on her throne, her gaze sharp but calm. Beside her, Illyra stood tall, proud in her silver robes. Cole was at her side, his human presence bold and confident. The Empress raised her hand to silence the room. We have witnessed much, she began. Threats have come against us. Doubts have been cast. She looked at Cole. You have proven your strength and loyalty. Then she turned to the council. But the true test is here: do we accept this union or do we let old fears divide? US again? One by one the nobles stood. Some voiced support, speaking of peace and progress. Others grumbled but remained silent. Finally, Lord Vask rose, his eyes hard. I do not accept this human as consort. He is an outsider. Illyra stepped forward. Then you do not accept the future of Jaren. Her voice was strong and clear. The room grew silent. The Empress nodded. The people have spoken. With a wave of her hand, she signaled the royal guards. Lord Vask and his followers will be watched closely. Any who act against the peace will face justice. Days passed, and the court slowly settled. Cole and Illyra worked together, meeting with leaders, listening to fears and hopes. They showed that their bond was not weakness, but strength. Earth and Jaren could build something new, a future where different worlds stood together. At a great celebration, the Empress officially blessed their union. Cole and Illyra exchanged rings made from stardust and crystal. The crowd cheered. For the first time in decades, the Jurani Empire felt hope. In a quiet moment, Illyra and Cole stood on the palace balcony, looking out at the city lights. She took his hand and smiled. I was stunned when I first saw you, he laughed softly, and I was lost when I first arrived. But now, she said, you are my true husband, not just by fate, but by choice. Cole pulled her close. And you are my queen. In every way. Together they looked at the stars, their bond shining brighter than any light. A new era had begun.